Welcome to the Reload and Craft channel. Today we're going to be talking about how I stainless steel wet tumble my brass in preparation for loading and what all the process involves. To start, we begin by simply just loading the brass into the tumbler drum. I prefer at this point that it is relatively clean, no kind of sizing lube or anything on it, as that can affect the process. Let's bed it up here just to make it easier for you guys. You want to load the tumbler about 3/4 full, leave room for it to actually agitate and to be able to tumble itself properly still. Alright, there we can see the tumbler's been properly loaded. We'll grab our bucket with stainless steel pins in. I use about 5 pounds for the full-size tumbler and dump them in on top. Sometimes they do take a decent bit to get out of the bucket, so you can see me tapping it here. The couple that didn't get out, handy little transfer magnet, works great to drop them into the bucket. Alright, moving up to the sink here. This is one part of the process that I've found is super important if you want to keep your tumbler drum from not leaking. I just put that cap on initially there, flipped it over, and I'm going to actually prep the seal on the opposite side of the cap. The sink is warming up in the background. First, rinse off the seal. Sometimes brass flakes can get on there, cause a leak. Clean off the cap in the same manner, reapply the seal, put it back on the end of the tumbler drum, and then just hand tighten it. You don't have to super snug it, otherwise it will also make it leak. Take the cap off on the other side. Be careful with those pins, tap them off, make sure they don't go down the sink drain. Prep the seal on this side as well. Fairly straightforward, you just have to pay attention to it, otherwise it will leak. Reapply the seal, and then we actually start to load the drum. First begin with lemishine. Depending on the drum size, I use anywhere from 3/4 teaspoon down to 1/4 teaspoon, depending on how dirty the brass is. In this case, I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon dipper, and I will use 3 of these for that full drum of brass.
The amount of lemishine you use also depends on how hard your water is as well.
Okay, those are in. Then I'll let the drum finish filling with water almost up to the top. The more airspace you leave in that drum, the more the soap will create bubbles and create pressure and will leak. I then apply maybe about 5 seconds or so worth of soap into the drum. It just acts as a surfactant, helps the lemishine actually do its job better. And top off with a little water. Then we reapply our cap, snug that down just decently finger tight, same as the other side, and then take it over to the tumbler. Okay, now that we're over at the tumbler, obviously to set the drum on, I typically run it for anywhere from 1.5 hours to 2 hours per cycle. Once it comes off after that, I will clean it and then reapply the wash cycle, but this time use ArmorAll Wash Wax instead of the Dawn or whichever dish soap you're using. That helps protect the cases and keep it from tarnishing. You can see here in the end, this is why you don't want the drum completely full. You want a decent bit of room for that to properly agitate, and as you can see, that brass is falling in a nice tumbling rotation there. I do also use 2 microfiber cloths under either end of the drum. That just keeps any water drops that fall down from collecting or running across the floor. Alrighty, we'll let this go for 2 hours. Once the brass has been done tumbling, definitely rinse it out under the sink. I typically do about 3 rinses just to make sure all that dirty water and debris is cleaned out of there. We take off our strainer cap. You can see there are little brass shavings that have been sifted out. Dump that on top of one of these sifter trays. There are more sophisticated ways to do this. This just works for me. Dump it out onto the tray. You got to be careful, those pins will want to bounce off of there and fly all over the room, so you have to let it out slowly. Once it's into the sifter tray, zoom in here a little bit for you guys. You can see all the stainless pins in there. We want to separate those from the brass. Obviously, we don't want those to get in the loading cycle. I just set a bucket lid on the top here. and then shake that around real good. The pins will fall through the little slots, obviously the cases will not. Inspect them here just to make sure they're good. Looking pretty good there. And see, there are a couple pins left, so I'll just shake it a little bit here by hand to get those to go through the slots. A little bit more. And now we're looking pretty good. This also helps to get the excess water off of those cases. We take that brass, dump that on a towel, set it inside, and then repeat the process once more. I'll speed it up for you guys. Dump it out, shake it through, cover it with the lid. Agitate it pretty good. That helps sling the little pieces of stainless pins out of the cases. Sift it, and there we go. That's what it looked like if it's done, and you did a full-size batch instead of just a little batch I did in that first clip there. Brass is clean on the outside, inside, and primer pockets, unlike tumbling methods that don't use the stainless pins or stainless chips. It's an extra step, but it does create cleaner brass. Finally, we just take those, dump them onto just an old bath towel or something there to catch the water. And then I like to take and roll the towel over them until they are all flat on one layer. This helps get the water off the outside of the cases and prevent any water spotting. Not necessarily necessary, but it's something that I do just to get good looking brass. That's approximately what a full tumbler load of brass would look like. Try to get down to that single layer. And this is the final result. Brass that is trimmed to length within spec, that is properly sized, will chamber easily, is well cleaned both inside out, and is ready for loading. Let me know, guys, if you have any ideas for future video topics. I'm considering doing a video on the cost of reloading, why someone might get into it, as well as just the basic principles of reloading from start to finish and what all that involves, what equipment you need, and how the process is done from start to finish. Thanks as always. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Those likes definitely help out the channel, and let me know that you guys are interested in the content and are looking forward to more. Thanks as always for watching The Reloading Craft.